paid ads before, but found that it wasn't effective for them, like what Sir said here a while ago, or you're just not familiar altogether, well, this will give you a very quick run through for using my ads. So, three topics that we will be covering today would be how do I compute for my keyword ad performance? How can I improve my keyword ad performance? And is there a practical case for reference? So this is what I was talking about earlier. So let's say I type bags, and these are the products that appear. So if you have my ads, then your product will appear like this. So sa desktop version or sa PC version, the first 5 and the last 5 of the page are have my ads. Tapos the sa mobile version, it's the first 2, and then random 4, and then the next 2. So yun yung basic algorithm ng keyword ads. So how can the proper use of my ads help me as a Shopee seller? So based on the seller's data that we have from 2018 as well as from other regions, your exposure can increase to as much as 130%. Your orders can increase up to 140%. Your sales will also grow by 170%. And most importantly, your ROI from ads can increase up to 8 times. So 3 important key metrics that we have to watch out for: CTR, the click-through rate, which is basically the number of clicks over your number of impressions or views. The conversion rate, which is the number of orders you get from my ads over the number of clicks. And then, of course, what everyone wants, ROI, sales amount, or the number, or the amount that you get from your orders over advertising cost. So for CTR, our goal is to get enough exposure. So the main reason, one of the main reasons why we are using paid ads is because we want to get more exposure. Kasi syempre, since you are paying for it, then more chances of your product appearing when it is being searched. So for the conversion rate, it's orders over clicks. So the goal for this is, of course, to get or to convert orders above the standard level. So let's say prior to using paid ads, you're only getting like, let's say 5 orders a day. Then when you started using paid ads, you can get up to much like 3 times or 4 times than your usual orders. So that's the goal. And of course, your ROI is always to get the satisfactory ROI or the ROI that you want. So average ROI for paid ads users is around 7 to 9. There are sellers who gain as much as 14 or 15 for their ROI. So how do they do this? So this is an example of how you can compute for it, but this is actually uploaded in the Seller Education Hub. We will show you later where you can find this so that you can use it as reference. So how do they do it? How do they achieve that kind of ROI and the number of orders or impressions? So 4 things to consider: choice of keywords. Should you set it to broad or exact match? Bidding price, and how many keywords should they use with the product? Alright, so this is the very basic guideline to remember when you're setting up your paid ads keyword. So, ito yung parang kumbaga golden rule of paid ads. So, for broad match, it's usually just a noun. So, let's say one word lang siya: bags, shoes, phone, very generic word. And of course, your goal for that is to gain higher exposure. How come? Kasi diba kunwari, let's say for a buyer who doesn't really know like what he or she wants when she gets on the platform, parang, sige, scroll lang siya na scroll. So, more chances of your let's say, tapos yung title niya bags or shoes. So, mag-appear yung product nyo, most likely, if it's set to broad match rather than exact match. Kasi usually, well, exact match naman, you are targeting users here who already know what they want. Kaya you set it up in such a way na noun plus adjective or model or description. In other words, it's more specific. Kasi your goal here is to gain higher CTR or click-through rate. Kasi yun nga, alam na nila kung anong gusto nilang bilhin. So some examples of broad and exact match. So for example, I have mineral powder here. So for broad match, I set mineral powder as broad. Tapos for exact match, I set it up as the brand plus the generic name, tapos yung specific use niya, for example, oil control or acne control. The same goes for the bag. So for the bag, let's say I only set up long chunk and bag for broad. And then for the exact match, I put like the actual model and the description and even the color of the bag. So yun. Next one. So to demonstrate lang, the advantages of each. So for broad match, it gives your product more chances of being displayed when searched, high exposure and impression, although not necessarily clicks, and then it saves you time from setting up multiple keywords. For exact match naman, it helps you find your target audience. Yun nga, like what I said, it targets those people who really know what they want to buy, high click rate, and higher ROI. So let's say I have this example of an TV. It's in a Vision 43-inch digital LED FHD TV, etc., etc. So it's quite long, as you will see. And then I have 5 keywords in place. So I have 2 broad matches and 3 exact matches. So let's see like the difference in metrics. So the exact match, as you will see, or you can later on check in Seller Education Hub, the exact match has higher CTR and more traffic. So mas mataas yung clicks niya, ay yung views niya at the same time yung CTR. And if you will notice, it used adjective plus noun. So 32 LED TV a vision, LED TV a vision. So the goal here is to make it as simple as possible. Just so para matipid din sa budget. So for broad keyword plus broad match, it gives you a high impression. Although you'll need to watch out for CTR. For exact word plus exact match, it's applicable to specific searches. So to summarize, use a maximum of 10 exact keywords. Make sure to bid for broad match, not just exact match, to gain more impressions. Kasi syempre, the more impressions, the more chances of people actually ordering. And then use the golden combination of broad keyword plus broad match and exact keyword plus exact match. And then of course, we go back to the first topic that we discussed, the metrics. Always optimize bidding price, observe orders, impressions, and ROI. So, any questions po? We're all good. Good po. So, for today, those are the tips that we will be giving you. And then, later on, if you will check the Shopee page, you'll be posting more as well. And then watch out for contests and promos. Yeah. So currently, yung Suki card, Mercury, or like Shopping National, SM Advantage. So if you top up for as low as 5,000, you will be getting free 500 peso credit. So may mga tiers yan. And then we can flash it to you while you're eating. We'll just have to check it out. And then we will explain to you later on how the mechanics work. So I hope this will give you an idea on how to use PayDats at the same time to try it out. Thank you.